Hello and welcome to another episode of Coach's Commentary. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about the causes and effects of the impact player rule that has come about in this edition of the IPL. What has that rule done? It has given captains, the coaches, and the players a different perspective in the sense that the coaches and the captains now can rectify a mistake, if at all they feel it warrants that. They can rectify a mistake halfway through the game. How many times have you seen coaches say in the post-match press conference, "Oh, I was short of a bowler, I was short of a spinner. Maybe I should have played a batter instead of a fast bowler." Yes, those minor tactical things, which could perhaps end up making a major difference, can be addressed halfway through the game. What does it do to the players? It also gives them hope that they might be called upon to play a specific role right through the game, which obviously is something that will keep them interested all through the game. Otherwise, what used to happen was that the 11 will be picked, and unless somebody gets injured and somebody has to go out for fielding, the substitutes will probably see a bit of ebb in their enthusiasm. But that is gone now. 15 players will be interested right through the game. They'll be hoping that they'll be the ones who will be the heroes for that particular afternoon or in the night, as the case may be. So that is something that is the positive side of this impact player role. The other effect of the impact player rule is that we've seen sites breach the 200 mark on more than 22 occasions in the halfway stage. In fact, right through the entire edition last year, it was only on 19 occasions when totals in excess of 200 were got. But at the halfway stage, if you see sites going past the 200 mark, there has to be something done differently. It's not that the batters are doing things differently, it's just that they've got that additional muscle in the batting lineup because of the impact player role. Captains now at toss, they give you a list of 11 players who will be taking part when they bat first, and they'll make a substitution once the innings closes, and they'll perhaps replace a batter with a bowler. What has this done to teams? It's given them the confidence to go hammer and tongs and try and keep up the tempo that they create during the power play. But overall, what has happened is that the introduction of the impact player rule is allowed sides to play on extra batter, which means that they know that they have batters until 7 or even 8. And hence, what has happened is that the batters individually and the teams per se, as a tactic, have gone hammer and tongs and piled up big runs. That's one of the reasons why you've seen a lot of sides put up scores in excess of 200 at the halfway stage. Now, what does it do to individuals? Yes, it's all well and good for a batter to think that, yes, I'll go bash the ball around. If I get runs, I'm happy. And then at the halfway stage, I'm going to be substituted by a bowler, which means it's a nice push position and a fantastic job to have. Go bash the ball about on the field when you bat first, and then put your feet up and watch the fun as it unfolds. But therein lies a little bit of a problem. What is it? If the same batter is going to be substituted by a particular team, that player will be deprived of the opportunities to sharpen his fielding on a regular basis. There's nothing like doing things in a match, and that too under pressure. As far as pressure is concerned, you would see a lot of it in a competition like IPL, and that is how players develop their skills, they improve upon their skills. They got to be constantly playing cricket at a very high level of competitiveness, and that's the reason why this particular rule could perhaps be a bit of a negative impact for individual players per se. Now, uh, the other thing that people have to really keep track of or really think about is the fact that the impact player rule does provide an opportunity for captains, the team management, and uh, the administrators who form the team during the auction something to think about. It will also, the impact player rule will force these people to think out of the box. They'll have to be innovative. That is a positive as far as the impact player rule is concerned. Let's talk about Team India, because once the IPL is over and done with, they got to play in international cricket. They got to win. That's exactly what the fans want, and that's exactly what the players want themselves as well. But what has happened is that this impact player rule is not just about something that has been brought into effect in the IPL. This was brought into effect in the Syed Mustaq Ali as well, which means that players in India, be it the domestic competition or in the IPL, have gotten used to having the luxury of substituting a player at the halfway stage. Yes, the difference between Syed Mustaq Ali and IPL is that there was a time limit last year in the Syed Mustaq Ali within which you had to bring in the impact player into the field of play. I think it was before the end of the 13th over that needed to be done, but that particular restriction is not really there in the IPL. So the players, especially the Indians, are attuned to using this rule to their advantage. So, what does it do when they get into an international competition? They don't have that rule prevailing in the international competitions, they don't have it in the T20Is. Now, what is very curious is whether this particular rule in the IPL and that is followed in the Syed Mustaq Ali in the domestic competition will become a part of the playing conditions in the T20 internationals. This is something that the Indian cricketers and the fans of Indian cricket will have to really keep track of. The reason I say this is because if you're used to doing certain things in a certain way, and then especially the flexibility factor that you've been used to, and also a kind of an advantage that you've been getting used to over a period of time, if that is not available in international competitions, then you perhaps can get into a bit of a disadvantageous position. Because, yes, what do you do when you don't have the substitution? Then you will have to pick a playing level which has got to stay right through the game. And that can become a serious challenge. So, this particular impact play rule, which has been welcomed with a lot of enthusiasm, and it is also being used almost on a regular basis without fail, is something that you need to be very careful of. Yes, it is something that you can put to good use in the IPL and also in the domestic competition. But the captains and the think tank of Team India will also have to ensure that they have the flexibility as far as the thought process are concerned, that they can immediately switch on to the T20 international mode and not think about this impact player rule not being there and get on with things in international cricket. Yes, it's not a difficult proposition because the captain of the Indian team is very experienced. You also have the experienced people in the support staff as well. But yet, it's all a question of habit. If somebody gets used to a particular habit, it becomes a little bit difficult at times. But that's what the beauty of T20 cricket is all about. It's a question of adaptation. And talking of adaptation, what the impact player rule is also done is that it's made the captains and the team management go for specialists, because it used to be taken for granted. It was always considered that you needed to have multi-dimensional cricketers in your team in the T20 format. Yes, that was something that everybody was always agreeing upon. But this impact player rule has changed that particular set of dynamics a little bit. It's not a case of people going for multi-dimensional cricketers. Yes, it's about the batting pros and the bowling pros, and the best options available in both these functions are the ones who are chosen to execute a particular role in a particular situation. Is what does it mean? Does it mean that players who are capable of being good all-rounders will not be considered? No, it need not be so necessarily. You got a lot of good all-rounders who are still holding on to their places and proving their worth and importance. But nonetheless, what happens is that as it is, we do have a lot of batters who are not really keen to bowl and then provide that extra value. But that is something that was being uh, looked at by some of the upcoming batters. They would roll their arm around. They would also want to contribute with the ball. But if this impact player rule goes on to become a rule that is going to be followed even in the T20 internationals, then we are also going to see only specialists being part of the T20 sides in the future as well. Yes, there's a lot of um, possibility that this particular rule could be embraced by the ICC in the future. But if it is not, then the Indians need to be a lot more flexible, and they've got to be really be able to switch on and switch off their thinking processes in relevance to the competitions that they are playing in. If it's going to be a case of the IPL and the domestic competitions, they got to think one way, and if they play in the T20Is, they got to think another way. So interesting times ahead, but nonetheless, yes, what will be life without challenges, and what is it that the team management or the captain is going to do if they don't have conundrums to solve? But as far as the spectators are concerned, they will take this role happily enough because this has been one of the reasons why teams have really breached the 200 mark on a lot more occasions. And that is exactly what the spectators want. They want to see the batters really piling up runs and get their share of entertainment in seeing batters play big shots and score a lot of boundaries. As far as that particular objective is concerned, the spectators would have achieved it. And they'll be looking forward to a lot more in the second half of the IPL season as well. So that is what it's all about. T20 format is about cricketainment. It's not just cricket nor entertainment. It's a good mix of all these factors coming together and providing everybody wholesale entertainment. Keep enjoying the IPL. And that's it for now in this episode. And for those who not been watching us on a regular basis and you joined us today, please do press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also press the bell so that you get the notifications. And as far as the others who've been following us regularly and sending in their comments and feedback, continue to do so because your feedback is very valuable to me. And we'll also get a fair share of idea as to what exactly we need to put up in the upcoming episodes. So until I catch up with you next time, be good and stay safe.